G'day team, Mr. Minimalism here. Today we're going to cover off on a couple of just essential cues and tips with squatting, lunging in a bodyweight scenario. Then we're also going to show a nice little advanced exercise being the airborne lunge. Okay, now remembering with our bodyweight squat, the cues to remember are knees tracking over the feet but not past the toes. Now this is applicable to most people, but you might find that your femur length or your shin length has something to do with it. So everyone will squat differently in their own right, so make sure you get yourself checked out if you feel like these tips and cues don't really fit in with the way you squat. Now when we're talking about squatting, we also need to make sure we pull in with our hips to load our hamstrings and glutes to drive out of the bottom of the squat. When we just simply drop down into the squat, our knees take a lot of the force and we're unable to engage that stretch reflex to drive out of the squat, either in a bodyweight, kettlebell, barbell or loaded scenario. So when we first squat, we're going to pull in with the hips and let those knees track forward. And the whole time we're maintaining tension through the hips by pulling back and against, and we're maintaining that nice upright position of the spine. Now, correct squatting depth, as long as we're cracking that hip crease below our knees here, that's at adequate depth. We can also progress that and pull nice and deep into the bottom of our squat without switching off and relaxing. And driving out, maintain that nice upright chest, leading with the chest, hips not leaving by themselves, driving up nice and tall. Okay, now a couple of cues to remember with the lunge. Remember, when we're coming down into the bottom of the lunge, it's important not to take an excessive step forward or back so we load correctly. So what I want you to aim for is about a 90-90 position between both knees. Okay, from here, we're simply parting the floor and standing up and returning back down with the other leg, kissing the knee on the floor and returning to the top position. Now, common problems are that big excessive step back and they load through that back hip, or not stepping far enough back at all and they load through that front leg, pulling the heel off the floor, or excessively loading that front knee. Okay guys, so remember 90-90 and don't overload that front knee by cramping your step. Okay, now next we have our airborne lunge, which is a great advanced bodyweight exercise or advancement to our standard lunge, and we can also utilize things like a TRX or gym rings to hold on to anchor ourselves when we're practicing. But today we're going to use a kettlebell. So what I want you to remember with the kettlebell, crush the handle. So like you're trying to crush a Coke can between the hands, and we're going to use that as a counterbalance as we move down. Now this helps us obviously set off and maintain balance throughout the whole move without falling or having to change places. Once you advance with your kettlebell, you can regress it down lighter and lighter weight till your body weight only, completing your airborne lunge. Okay, so with the kettlebell, chest height, hands around the horns, we're going to be nice and tall here, sharp breath in, gripping that handle. And there we have it. Alright guys, tricks to remember are pull in with the hip, squeeze that handle and push that bell away as we progress deeper and deeper into the movement to help the counterbalance of the airborne lunge. There you have it guys, a couple of useful tips and cues to remember when bodyweight squatting, lunging and learning how to airborne lunge. Thanks very much, and don't forget, less is more.